Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Paul Trani here with the one and only Natalia Seth.
Hello.
We're in a bright red today. Festive red, Adobe red.
Adobe red.
Because it is a special week here. In fact, it's fun having you here. This is kind of like our last week that we will be live streaming. We'll be done for a couple weeks until the new year. In fact, let's go over the schedule really fast if we could. Again, we have Natalia today and tomorrow, which is awesome. We're going to be doing some digital imaging. Of course, Voodoo Val, thank you so much for her. She did an awesome job doing some photo editing. We're going to do some more digital imaging on iPad, XD Daily Creative Challenge Sam Anderson, as well as Mustafa Tujudin, which I might be mispronouncing his name, but he will be doing some XD for us, UX, UI. This afternoon. So that's what's happening. Good to have you in here. Tim, Michelle, Jesse, and Isaac, everyone. Good to have you here. Thank you for the warm welcomes and the warm welcome to Natalia as well.
Thank
Her
you.
first time here
I'm
on
so
Adobe
excited.
Live. Her
I'm
first
so
time in
excited.
San Francisco.
Yes,
as
my
well.
first time in San Francisco.
So this is super fun to have you.
I am so excited
Are
to
you?
edit and to be here. This is so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's
So,
my photo.
yeah, exactly. So if you're not familiar with Natalia's work, you can check out, first off, the Behance tab. There's an About tab, and you can kind of check out her Behance work. But also on Instagram, Escaping Youth. You can see her right here. She does a lot of fun work, and it is pretty festive and fun and bright. I love
Colorful.
I love it. I love the colors that you use for these. Like,
Yeah.
you can kind of go on and like.
I love colors
Some of these
so
are
much.
like hilarious. Like this one, I love it. Like I don't know what's happening here.
The photo
but I'm
that we're
into it.
editing today is pretty funny too. So
Good into it. I love that it's just like playful and
yeah.
it seems like you don't take yourself too serious.
No, I try to keep it light, try to keep it fun. I love to have fun.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that is really good. Because
you.
she was like, Paul, I'm looking forward to meeting you. We should both wear really bright red tomorrow or whatever. And so I'm like, okay.
Yep,
I'm like,
we
you are fun,
coordinated.
aren't you? So check out her work. Thank you, Tim, for posting that as well. So kind of peruse her work at your own leisure. But since we have her here live, I think the plan is, you said you're going to be working on something kind of playful and new. Maybe not this playful. Uh-oh. I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm getting a little concerned now.
There's some
Okay,
funny
let's close
stories
that one.
behind these.
Like this one. Hey, let's just go ahead and what are those?
That's gum. I stuck gum, like 150 pieces of gum on my face for that.
You know how you do. For,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, you know.
for the
I just
gram.
chewed like 3 pieces.
I'm
no,
glad
3
you.
packs
At
of
least
gum.
you. It's kind of gross, but at least you chewed it. It's not like you handed out 100 pieces to total strangers.
Actually, my roommates helped me chew some pieces of gum.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's dedication to her craft.
yeah, I'm dedicated.
For sure. And I'm a little grossed out. No, just kidding. It's awesome.
It was a little nasty.
And I think it's super fun having you here. You obviously know Photoshop. We'll be doing some digital imaging. And actually kind of diving into something that's kind of new for you as well, kind of working on the iPad. But kind of talk, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about yourself. Like, where do you live? Your exact address, by the way.
Yeah.
No.
So they can come. to my
So they
house.
come to your house and make it weird.
Yeah.
Like, are
Really
you in
weird.
school? You doing this professionally? Like that sort of stuff. I don't know if you want to
Yeah.
explain some more or not. It's
So
up to you.
I am currently, I consider myself like a surrealistic photographer. I like to make normal situations like really weird or really fun, like things that you've never seen before. And I am in school. I'm in college right now. I'm a sophomore in college. I'm 19, and I do this like full time, like along with college, because I started this whole thing when I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I've been doing it for like 6-7 years now. And I've just like, my mom's a surrealistic artist actually.
Oh,
so
really?
that's kind of like where I got my inspiration, and I just found an account on Instagram like in 2013 that like inspired me to do all this, and I wanted to make really weird stuff from the beginning. So I just started with my mom's iPhone 4S and then like her self-timer, like a little app that cut things out, and then eventually like moved to Photoshop and like DSLR, and then working with brands too. So it's been a whole ride.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with Steve's. Like, there's some awesome concepts here as well, because each one is pretty different. Each post, like,
Yeah.
you know, you see all these hands here, and then this concept next to it, something entirely different.
I try to experiment with a lot of different things. So I like shoot animals too, and then like some like cinemagraphs, and I don't know. I like to do all different things. It's like how my mind is. It's just like all over the
sorts of
place.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very into it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for today as well. So, yeah, let's this is so fun. I'm glad I get to hang out with you, because this is fun stuff.
I'm hanging out with you too.
So yeah, and we're going to be diving into something new as well, just kind of working on the iPad as well, which is pretty new to a lot of us. Like, we're kind of just getting the hang of it. I don't know if you want to talk about like what we're going to work on today.
So so my whole concept for today's edit is, should I bring it up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me open this. So this is the base image I'll be working on. But my idea for this was to be like blowing a bubble, and then I'll be editing that in, and then like 2 other bubbles will have my face on it, like wakening up. So the one that I'm blowing is like sleeping and then slowly waking up, because each bubble will be like a step.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like you're making these mini versions of yourself, and they're just like being born and opening up they're just being introduced to the world.
Yeah, they're just
And they're like, yeah. And then
I'm waking up. And I can't actually blow a bubble in real life, so that's why we're editing in. Because that's too difficult.
Photoshop for when you can't blow a bubble. Photoshop.
Exactly. Photoshop.
And now,
things that you can't do in real life.
Yeah, Photoshop.
So for stock images, do I just also look at this up here?
Yes,
For the bubblegum?
Yeah. What do you want to do again? Sorry.
I need to find some bubblegum photos to like edit in.
Gotcha.
But I can start with this now.
Yeah, you could start with this, and
Okay.
I don't know if you want to do some editing here.
Okay, yeah. So first, I usually crop the photos. So for Instagram, I usually do 8x10 or 1x1. So for this one, I'm thinking I want to do a square. And where are the dimensions on this?
It is, crop it out right here. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't give you exact dimensions. It does up here, so if we get that just dialed in just right.
Oh, okay.
Since
I'm
this
new
is
to iPad, by the way.
Yeah, trust me. I mean, like everybody is. And the thing is, with the iPad version, we just wanted to get it in everybody's hands, and then the features should come pretty fast as well.
Okay, so that's kind of how I want to have it, because I want to have space for the bubbles too.
Very cool.
And let's zoom out. I love that I can zoom out with just touching it. It's so nice. And then I'm going to bring in, let's see.
Because you do need to bring in some bubblegum bubble type things.
Yeah, some bubblegum bubbles.
Do you have an Adobe Stock account?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You might need to log in there.
Okay.
And this will be cool that we could show this feature. So I don't want everybody to see your password and all that stuff. You could do this a number of ways. In fact, I would actually do that over there on the desktop if you could. And it sounds like, so you can continue, you can log in. I wanted to kind of scroll down to some work that you had that was very bubble-like. Oh, there we go.
I love using bubblegum. And actually, in my profile picture, I have like a giraffe and me blowing bubblegums. And that's a photo from like 2014.
Okay.
Not this one, but my profile picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, I love using candy.
Yeah. No, and it's I think it's tough to pull off. I will say, when it comes to like creating something that's realistic, you could always use something like Dimension. This is just while you're logging in. I'm just kind of occupying everybody's time real fast. Trust me, we're gonna get to Photoshop on the iPad. But what I would do in this situation is I'd grab a sphere, I'd drop it in here, right, just like this. Because what I want to have is I'd want to have all those reflections and everything. So I'd grab that table in this case, drop that in there.
Oh, that's
here's
cool.
my bubble. And what I ultimately want to do with this sphere is, of course, change. I can change it to plastic, so I could drop that on, but individually, I want to actually change a lot of these properties. We can get this kind of more to a pink.
Wow.
Something kind of like that, but right down here, it's this opacity and the roughness and the metallicness of it all, right? That's what we would play with,
should
right?
learn this. This is
Yeah.
cool.
So the cool thing is that I can just go ahead and render this out, because all I need is that one object. Render that out as, and I could just do a fast one, as a PSD, and it's going to be selectable. It's going to have that as a separate layer as well, and then I can, you know, composite that into my scene.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, oh, it looks like you're logged in there. Perfect.
Yes, I am. Should I show what I'm downloading?
Yeah, let's go ahead and switch to your laptop if we could.
I searched up bubblegum, and then I really like this one, so I want to find like a nice pink one, and then this one's good. It's like has like a circular shape, and then for maybe one with different lighting too. Let's do this one too. Well, there's many of her.
I mean, and honestly, there's no substitute for using a real photo. Like I can't. That's the first lesson I learned when I graduated from college, is to use real. Like go out like you do. You take photos. Those are real photos. You're not trying to simulate
photos like in real life as possible, because like finding stock images sometimes it's like, oh, I have to like search through like pages and pages of like cows. And
exactly.
I'm like, what if I just find a real cow?
And even what I was doing here in Dimension isn't going to compare compared to like say Adobe Stock or an actual.
Because you have to find like the lighting and like I don't know, it's kind of hard. And then like in Photoshop already, I have to like shade it exactly how the situation was.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to like think more.
You do, and at least with like Dimension, you can kind of control the lighting and kind of get it right. But I love looking at this stuff and using real photos. So yes, Michelle, to your point, Michelle, Dimension crashed your last laptop. It is a 3D application, so it's gonna take some processing power to do that heavy lifting. Just keep that in mind. So that looks good. Okay.
Yeah, I have
and
the ones that I want.
You can just don't mind me.
Oh yes.
You're syncing that. You should sync. We could do this a couple different ways. You're syncing that to what library? By default, it's going to images. Inspo? Does that say inspo?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the cool thing that's happening now is you're finding those photos on your desktop, just because it could have been on the iPad, doesn't matter. But we can use those in the iPad as well.
So it's already going to show up here?
It should. Let's go ahead and
see. Oh, that's so cool.
All right, yeah, let's switch over to your, if that's cool.
Wait, that's so cool.
Yeah, so there's the 4 blue images down there.
Oh, wow.
The only thing about this, so it's like take one and like drag it in.
Okay, drag it in. Oh.
I actually don't know if you need to click it or not. So this is what I wanted to point out. Assets will be placed as flattened. Just keep that in mind. Okay. And just make it larger, obviously. I don't know why that must be a larger photo. But just that's how they currently come in as flattened. We're working on that, by the way.
Okay. Flattened. I think I want it, so let's see. I'm going to try editing with just this one. Oh, done. First. Oh, wait, why is it so small?
I think, did you, yeah, maybe I don't know why the quality looks a little, what you can always do on your desktop, if the quality isn't that good, you can always open it up on the desktop in Photoshop.
True.
Save it as a cloud document, you could save it to that same file, like as a layer.
Oh, true.
So if you want to if you need to use the desktop, if that quality isn't good enough, or just have fun with this.
Okay, cool. But I do want to, so this was taking my basement, which has like a gray or white wall. And then in all my images on my Instagram, like I have different colored walls because I always recolor the gray wall. I don't have a green screen or anything.
Oh, okay.
So
you just use the gray wall.
Yeah, I just use the gray wall. And it works perfectly because then I can like change it to any color. And like sometimes I want white, so it's really easy to change it to that. Let me see. But I'm gonna select myself and then create a mask and then color dump the background for like a blue or something.
And we'll
like that.
just we'll see how this works. I don't know if you're on the right layer.
Oh.
And I don't know, you can always duplicate that layer. Looks like that one's currently locked, But you do this sometimes, especially since you're gonna like kind of color dump a layer. You have a backup layer.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna screw it up. So, by the way, Keita and Muhammad and everybody out there, Chat and Win is in less than 15 minutes.
Ooh.
Just so they know.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, select
Ooh,
subject.
okay. We will do that in a second. We actually have to get the latest update of this.
Ooh, okay.
But what you can do right now is you could use the quick select tool and just kind of run over. And what you can even do here, there's more in it. Actually, that worked out really well.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's pretty good. Also down here, hit the more, just so you know there's that more. There is select similar. I'm just pointing that out for people because if you're mostly red or just wanted that bubble, it will select the bubble selecting similar colors. But otherwise,
that's cool.
that looks great. I'll let you continue. Don't mind me.
It's mask.
So you can mask it. Boom.
Cool.
Now you're on that mask layer, which is awesome. Fantastic.
Cool. And then let me see. We're gonna find a nice blue. I'm thinking baby blue for the background or like something similar to that, like a pastel. And then let's see, color dump. Oh, it's already on a blue. Let's see. Ah!
There we go. Yeah.
That's cool.
That actually, I'm amazed that is your gray wall.
Yeah.
And that's
And then I
worked out
just
pretty
changed
well.
the blending mode. And then usually like adjust some of like the blacks and the shadows, which I'll show you. But let's see.
Yeah, that's
And then
working out
refine the
pretty well.
edges, of course.
Yeah, and so, yeah.
Can I do soft light here? Like the blending mode? Okay, cool. Where is that?
Yeah, it is. Click on that third icon down in the upper right. There you go.
Oh, cool. Let's go to soft light. So I usually do like soft light or multiply for the background, depending if I want a darker look or a lighter one. But this one I wanted to be like kind of baby blue, so let's do soft light. And then I can do a more intense blue, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's see. How do I expand this part? Like
The top,
transform.
what I would do there is I would actually just duplicate that layer just so we have that background layer just one more time.
Duplicate.
Yeah.
her.
And I love watching you. This is fun watching you work. Then I would go to the
Oh, yes.
marquee tool and select that top strip and then just drag, like.
Yeah, that's what I
there, and
usually
then-
do.
Exactly. Isn't that funny? And then, yeah, exactly. And then would be this one right here. Boop.
Oh, that's
And-
so cool. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I do, yeah.
It's funny that you think you have little hacks that nobody does, and then you realize everybody does. the same
Everybody
hack.
does it.
It's not even a hack, it's just like how you do it, I guess.
And then that looks good. Let's see. And then probably on the desktop, I fade out the black so it's not like so harsh around like the shadows.
Okay.
Let me see. I kind of want a more aqua look. Let's do like, wait, aqua.
And then just, yeah. And then paint bucket.
Paint bucket. Oh,
There
cool.
you go.
Wait. Oh, cool. That's,
And then
wow.
yeah. Do you do a lot of gradient? I don't know if I've noticed a lot. Usually your backgrounds are pretty straightforward.
That one I did gradient, but usually I just do like a solid color. I like just like blocks of color.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably, for like this photo, I recolored like those bubbles because they're originally like yellow. So I recolor a lot of things, and like even if like like my shirt's red, but I may change it like yellow. Or
Yeah.
like the clips are yellow, but I'm probably gonna change those too.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So let's see. Should we bring this on the desktop to cut out the bubbles?
Yeah, we can. I'll show you like the only other thing back here is like if you do a long press, there's the gradient tool too.
Oh.
But you kind of don't
cool.
need it in this situation, and it might be something that you might even change. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just go ahead and save.
cool. Okay,
And the cool thing is that you don't even have to worry about saving it. It actually gets saved in the background, so you just hit the home button.
Oh,
there,
cool.
Right. So
And then go on to my
we'll
desktop.
see that update. I don't remember the name of it. It's like image 1748.
Image 1748.
So go to File. Oh yeah, there we go.
Then
We'll give it a second because actually back on
Oh,
the
this is
iPad,
sync.
if you notice, it's syncing now. So just on the iPad really fast. Usually you don't work this way. You're not working with your iPad and switching directly to your laptop. It's usually like you're working someplace else.
Yeah.
And then while it's syncing, that's when you go, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be anywhere at a coffee shop working this way.
Yeah.
And then once it's synced, and by the way, this is, what did you take this photo with? Like what was your camera?
Canon 60 Mark II.
Okay, so that's pretty high resolution photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
The raw files are like 30 megabytes. It's just ginormous.
Yeah, so this could very well be like a 30 meg file. So we'll give it a second.
Yeah. The end files, especially if I'm like dragging other photos in, ends up being like 2 gigabytes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the PSD files. So they turn out pretty big. But
yeah, no
you
kidding.
know, that's all how it goes.
Yeah, that is good. So it looks like that's being, and that will pop up on the desktop. By the way, this is Photoshop on the iPad. We'll just, it's available to you, which is awesome.
This iPad's so big too. I can see everything.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's like almost as big as the laptop.
Because I don't even know if do you have an iPad?
No.
So
that's why I'm like, wow.
This is the great thing about this is we kind of just handed this iPad to you with Photoshop, and we said, go work on it. Good luck. And you were working as if I thought, okay, well, it would seem pretty seamless for the most part.
Yeah, it seems pretty easy.
What gets to be really fun is like selecting things. So just because you're using Apple Pencil, it makes it super easy to just kind of go in and actually select pixels as we dive into those individuals. Let's maybe not open that one up again because we don't want it to see. But it is already on your desktop actually.
Oh,
so we could probably switch to your desktop.
Yeah, selecting just like the subject here was so easy.
It's just nice working
and like
on your
it
screen.
feels nice with the pen.
Yeah.
Cause like I usually use a Wacom to like select stuff, so I already have a pen, and then that one's like wear down because I've used it so much. This is so like
and you're working actually on the image because your Wacom is a separate
thing to plug it in. And like I forget the pen.
It takes some coordination too. It takes some coordination to do whatever I'm doing down here is that little thing that appears on the screen. There's a little bit of disconnect. But anyways, looks like it's there now. Just go full, thank you so much. Go full screen with that.
Screen.
Or a little, and then like,
drag it
over. It's glorious.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. How do I, libraries? For the stock, so I usually just drag in my stock images. Oh, I never use libraries. That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
That's so, wow.
Yeah, they're there for you.
They're there for me. Press OK.
Yeah, Jesse, happy to tell your boss that you can get work done outside of the office. That goes for anyone. Because Jesse was asking about that. You know, the whole idea of like, you know, even just like not being confined to, you know, a specific area. When you're working, do you have a specific spot at home, or do you kind of bounce around with your laptop?
I like to work in big, comfy chairs. So wherever that is, but I can work anywhere. Like I've worked in cafes and just like around like school. I like doing different like libraries or like cafeterias or something.
Anywhere you want. I've noticed with the iPad, especially, like I will just. You realize how tied to the laptop you are until you have like an iPad. And then you realize you could work in bed while watching Netflix. And that's usually my go-to is like working in bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have this big laptop where everything's kind of awkward. It just seems
because I always have to be like on my stomach when I'm in my bed, like trying to like edit. I'm like, this is not productive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the bubblegum image. And then I'm going to select just the bubble with the quick select tool. And that did it perfectly, so I'm gonna mask that. And then I think there's still an edge here, so let me just quickly erase that with black. Oh, what's this brush?
Oh yeah, this is.
Oh, interesting brush.
Yeah,
I usually use these brushes.
Yeah, I usually exactly. I'm glad you're like me. I don't get too carried away with brushes.
Yeah, unless I'm doing like a texture or something.
And by the way, she's erasing Are you erasing? Oh, you're painting with black. Technically, you're working on the mask.
Yeah, I'm painting with black, and then I'm gonna refine
Never
edge
mind.
this.
Cause
here.
My general thought is like, if you honestly don't need those pixels anymore, it's okay to actually erase them.
True.
Some people are like, oh, never erase. Why is it? No, you know what? I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of all these other pixels because it's going to be
need
too
her.
big anyways. It's
Yeah.
going to add to the size of my file. But
I'm entering select and mask.
do you need to do that?
Yes. I'm going to refine the, like, smooth around the edges.
Okay. Yeah, you do your magic.
Okay, let's see.
Ooh, thank you, Tim.
What did Tim say?
Yes. Tim didn't say yes, but Tim mentions the new object selection tool. Ooh.
Yes.
We get to show you that if you aren't aware of it already. We will blow your mind.
Blow your mind. I'm just smoothing the edges here, so, and decreasing the edge. Okay, cool. Blow in a bubble, and I'm gonna make it a little smaller. So I'm gonna make the bubbles increasingly larger as it goes away from me, and then because it's like growing with each face. And then let's see.
Sergio, I like that comment. Live fast, die young, erase the pixels. There's life's too short to remove USBs safely, as they say.
Okay, that's cute. Siri, I don't want you. We'll delete this.
So that's nice that you're using smart objects because as you're making more, you're still gonna have that resolution.
Yes. And then I flipped it horizontally because the shadow's like on that side of my nose.
Okay.
So I pay attention to like lighting and shadows a lot because that's like all how to make things realistic. Shading is very important. And then let's see. This mask. So I'm actually gonna get rid of this layer and then do a solid color layer, and then use the same mask.
Can I show you something else that's really fun?
Oh, yes.
But pick your color first.
Okay.
Just because I look at your stuff and it's so vibrant and full of life. You're not afraid of color, which is obviously
I'm not afraid of color.
You are not afraid of color, which is awesome.
Okay, now I replace this mask, and then I'm gonna. Okay, cool.
Sweet.
And then make it soft light, and I'll fix that later. But yes, what we're gonna show.
Oh, I was just gonna say, go to add a new. Actually, you don't even need to do that. Go to Window, up at the top. Just go to Window. We're gonna open up the gradient. Gradients. Open that up, and then just like open up any one of those folders. So you can go into the blues since you're dealing with blue.
Whoa!
And then just like click on one of those.
Looks like the ocean.
Actually, drag one in.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay.
Now move your gradient panel out of the way because I want to see how it affected the layers because it might have affected that layer beneath it.
How do I? Do I go back to my layers?
Yeah, they're kind of part of the same stack. So what you could do, I didn't want it to replace that current one, so you could do
this.
There we go, perfect. Just do an undo because I don't want to like ruin your. So they're perfect. Now just make a new layer.
A new layer.
Go down there, boop, and then, try that, and then drop it on there.
Whoa! Oh my goodness.
There we go.
That's so cool.
I don't know why it put it clear down there. So it does need that mask, but anyways, so I'm just pointing out the fact that there's like a zillion gradient layers in there that you can use.
Oh my god,
there's like
purples,
so many.
Reds. Oh, this is so cool. My mind is blown.
See like that? Like it's just really fun to get like these quick results.
Yeah, because before, like on the Photoshop, before this version, it didn't have this many options. So that's why
it wasn't a first-class citizen. Now it's like gradients are like a first-class citizen. It has its own panel, really squared away. And I mean, I can go on, but like Adobe Capture can now capture gradients that then can be applied for those that are into Adobe Capture.
I used Adobe Capture for the first time, and then I was just like, because it like captures like the colors around you in the world, and I was just around me, like, wow, there's so many colors.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, and it's a blast.
Okay, let's see.
Oh shoot, you know what else is pretty fun, by the way? I'm sorry to interrupt, I'm always interrupting you. But what else is pretty fun is Chat and Win. That's why we have fireworks going off in the background. So we're gonna dive into Chat and Win right now.
Let's go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Please just say something in chat, like maybe it's your favorite color. I don't know.
Yeah, say your
I don't
favorite
know.
color.
I'm very much on color today since we're so bright and full
So
of life
red.
today.
Someone said red.
Feel free to let us know your favorite color. Mine is blue.
Mine is actually, it was baby blue for a long time.
Blue is, I think they say about 40% of the population, their favorite color is blue.
I feel like it's a very common color.
But I'm kind of annoyed that the color of the year is that true blue. I don't know.
Is that the royal blue?
That it's not even like a royal blue. I forget the exact name of it.
I love royal blue.
But feel free to say your favorite color. Maybe it's blue like mine. Doesn't matter. We will draw a name at random, and you will win some free stickers. Actually, 100 of them.
Oh my gosh.
From
what
Sticker
will you
Mule.
do with them?
And we want to thank right here, Jose Vadi. Congratulations, Jose. You are the winner of 100 free 3x3 die cut stickers from Sticker Mule. You see right here. Go ahead, make your own stickers using your favorite colors, and print them up, and then just like slap them on people's laptops at random. By the way, everybody could get 10 stickers for $1 using this URL. So that's $1. Sorry.
I'm gonna use that.
So, yeah, 10 stickers for $1. So that is the goal. All right, we'll switch back to your laptop. Fantastic.
I'm still picking my color. So I usually like just pick a color and then I'll probably change it later. But since it's on soft light, it's creating like a very harsh shadow. So I want to soften that by going here to underlying layer and then clicking this half and then just.
A lot of people don't use this, by the way. This is very much like a pro move.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You know.
Yeah. So when you drag that from the dark to more of a medium, what is it actually doing? Does it?
So this one is revealing like the shadows. So it's especially good for like makeup. So if you're painting on makeup with like a color fill and you want like this highlights to show, which actually I'm gonna do one later to my face. But it reveals like highlights and shadows underneath, and so it doesn't look like you just pasted color on top. So it makes it more realistic.
And it works really well, like, since you use that gray background, it blends really nicely.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I love my gray background.
That is
And then I'm
very
just gonna
nice.
I'm gonna color this part in too.
And you're just kind of painting with a brush, right?
Yeah, I always use masks. I actually never use the erase tool, but
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree with like, if you're never gonna see it again, then just use the erase
Yeah,
tool.
and if it's like, if you want one small object on a huge layer,
Yeah.
like it's storing all those pixels that you just don't need. You know,
Yeah.
and if you're dealing with a gig files
That's
after
why,
a while,
like, my files are so big, I should do that. But let's see, these edges. Let me fix these edges a bit.
Yeah, while you go in and fix those edges, I'll answer Sergio's questions about libraries. So libraries panel, you can put anything in your libraries panel. So even after she makes this bubble, she can drag that bubble into that library panel. It will be available to her anywhere where a library is available. Where a library is available, everywhere, right? And you can sort those all you want and
That's
make
so
your
cool.
own.
I never used libraries, and now I'm definitely gonna use those.
It's like, it's pretty much all I use. Like, I don't have to worry about cluttering up my desktop or even, you know, any of that. I just don't have to worry about it.
Wait, how much does it store in there?
That's a good question.
Because
I forget. I don't know if it's 20 gigs.
that's a lot.
I'd have to check. But let me show you some. Well, I don't.
Just delete this.
You do your thing.
Okay. Oh. Okay. And then I probably, let's see, I have to retouch my hair too because it's just like,
Siri's running.
Siri, I don't want
Stop
you.
it.
Stop. But I'm gonna clone stamp around so it like gets rid away of all the flyaways. And let's see, clone stamp. And then
While you're
Missions
getting those
current and below.
flyaways, let's switch to my screen really fast if you don't mind. So just to kind of, I'm going to answer that libraries question. And this is like pro tips. If you go into your work, you can see all your libraries right in here. So I will go to like nature, and not only do I get a nice view of it, but I can actually view all those graphics like much larger. So this makes it easier to kind of organize my library. By the way, I can view by type or even by group, because I've grouped everything together. So I have vector animals here, animals, full nature images, right? And you start to kind of organize your stuff nice and neat. Plus, right in here, by the way, plus button, boom, right there. Follow public libraries. These are free assets available to you. So what I've did is I've actually downloaded Web Gradients, Lacey Jordan's as well, and Temi Coker's.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what's over here off to the side. So you can see Lacey Jordan. There she is. View all of her stuff that is free to me. And then those cool web gradients, since we were talking about gradients. But you get the idea. All right, I'm done. I gotta shut up. It's like I was just giving you time to like do your masking, but wow, this is already
I'm quick.
Boy, I blinked. I should have switched to my screen. Look at all this work you did. What are you doing? Now you're gonna go a little slower, but man, you're like, I can.
Let me just go. I made some duplicates of this bubble, the first bubble that I had, and I'm gonna make just like increasing bubbles so I can put my face on them. And if you see, there's like a little like dark spot there from the girl blowing it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Actually, my face will be on top, so that's fine. Okay. Let me get my face from the cloud. So just open here. Open.
Yeah, open and then go to, yeah.
Okay, can I open multiple at once? Oh.
I love it.
Okay, let me just open all of them. But so these are just like different emotions that I took, and I'm going to be cutting out my face and putting them on the bubbles.
Nice.
So let's see. Let's start with the sleeping one, and we'll like slowly wake up. Okay.
Into it.
Oh, where did she go? And then just drag that here.
So yeah, Steve, to answer your question, we find designers like every which way. So just make sure you have a presence out there, social media presence. You have a portfolio on Behance. We have people from all over the world, including New York, Nikoma, just so you know. How did we find you, did we say? Was it like maybe Instagram or something?
Maybe? It was probably, yeah, I think it was Instagram, but I think you guys found me like 2 years ago with Project 1324.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So you're part of that Project 1324, which was, I don't know if you want to mention that, if you can talk about it while you work.
Yeah. It was like the adolescent platform for like social impact and like different challenges. So I went to Adobe Max actually last year with them and just like kind of recorded my experience. And then so also did like a live with Project 1324 and kind of talked about my work there. Okay. So also I'm just going to lasso out this part of my face really roughly and then refine it later.
This is like definitely a case where you want to make like a layer mask for sure, huh?
Yeah. You want to get back my face.
Yeah.
And then layer mask. This is funny. Okay. And then
so Bojana, by the way, just a little birdie told me there might be some Premiere Pro live streams coming in the new year. So I would say Adobe Live would be the place for Premiere Pro tutorials.
Ooh.
And everywhere else out there.
Oh yeah, tutorials is how I learned Photoshop. Just taught myself through tutorials.
Nice. Yeah, so Tyler Babin has one on Friday, and we're gonna start some new stuff next year, too.
Okay. And then, so I'm gonna refine the edges and like make it blend in later, but I want to match my face color to the bubble.
Ooh, I want to know how to do this.
So
or
this
how
usually
you do it
is trial and error. So,
perfect. That's all I do.
I just keep on trying things,
yeah,
and I'm like,
by all
that
means.
doesn't look good.
This is good. An adjustment layer. Okay.
And then I clip it, and then I just let's see, pink. Let's make her sunburn.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that's actually
and
good.
Then this, and I'll probably go with curves too. It's a little bit too purple there, and well, I'll adjust this later. And then curves. And then I'll just do like that. And then keep adjusting things until they look right.
Yeah. Into it.
Looks about right. And then, let's see. And then to make this blend in, we'll just have to like softly brush this and then keep on adjusting and making more adjustment layers.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna, with a soft edge brush tool, brush that out. And make it smaller. And I got rid of my eyebrows because I thought that'd be funnier. And softly brush that.
I feel like these are like little bubbles of you being like born. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they're just waking up and coming to life.
Me
So when they're
being
first born, they
again.
don't have eyebrows just yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They don't have eyebrows,
Maybe
but they do
when-
have
maybe when they're
makeup.
older.
They
But
have.
they definitely have makeup.
They have
They're-
wings,
they're-
obviously.
They obviously have wings, of course.
Everyone's born with wings. Poetic. And then let me see. I'm gonna make the face bigger. The faces are gonna be.
And this is
growing.
really good. I like this is it's good thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because a big mistake people make with people's faces, especially when it comes to drawing them, they don't take the whole head into account. So actually, I kind of like what you have going on there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like if that whole face covered the whole circle, it would look fake.
Yeah.
You need room for your brain.
Then I would just
you got a big brain. You gotta make sure that bubble fills out that big brain.
Exactly. And I want this bubble and then this bubble to be facing me, and then this one's gonna be like facing away because it's going out.
Oh, I love it. By the way, we're going to be doing design feedback in about 50 minutes based on the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. So that's what that timer's all about. That was Val's segment this morning and yesterday, so keep an eye. Post it to the current challenge tab and we'll review those.
Okay, and I'm going to get rid of some of the contrast up that. So I use curves a lot for my adjustment layers. I use color fills and curves a lot for lighting and color.
Okay.
And then
Color
that's pretty
fill.
similar actually. Color fill, yeah. For shadows especially, I like paint with color fill and then just adjust it with like the underlying layer again.
What do you mean color? I'm having a hard time placing that. Is it an
so
adjustment
like these
layer?
Ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, color fill layer. Got it.
I use
okay,
so many
perfect.
color fill layers. And then to actually color the photo, I use color lookup a lot. And
Yes.
I always use fall colors.
Do you really? I love
Always.
hearing people's favorites.
I always use
Fall
fall
colors.
colors because it makes it warm. And I don't really like cool tones too much in photos. I try to like keep like face usually like warmer and like
Okay.
some of the shadow. It like makes it really nice with the shadows.
Yeah, and it tends to unify the design as well. Adding that color lookup, don't you think it like kind of? I think for me, it's
Yeah.
covered up some of like my mistakes, but it just like makes it look more real.
Yeah, I'm like this. I totally did that on purpose.
My favorite is the two color
Ooh.
for color lookup. But it basically makes everything look teal and like orange or pink.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
it's pretty extreme, but I like it.
I have external ones that I've downloaded from like different websites that I
Yep.
use too.
Yeah.
And so I have so many. And then I'm gonna make the tone of like the base image match with the blue. So I'm gonna make this more cyan. And then
It's cayenne. Just kidding.
Wait,
no,
really?
it's not. No, it's not. I'm just messing.
I was
with
like,
you. I'm
no. I've never heard that.
Cayenne. It's cayenne. I'm just waiting for somebody to come
cayenne.
on the stream and be like, I'm gonna use some cayenne. What is this? A dish? Are we cooking here? Are we making some
cooking?
cayenne peppers? What are you talking about?
Oh my
I'm
goodness,
just messing.
cayenne peppers. So this looks good. So a big part of my editing process is like coloring. So I'll usually have like 10 million color lookup layers and like curves and like color balances because like I change my mind and sometimes they like counteract each other. So like
Yeah.
I make two and they just like
Yep.
go back
Yeah.
to the same image. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, but
But that's all part of that working process because you're
Yeah.
adding to it and then you realized, oh, it was better the other way. But I hear what you're saying. It can get
Exactly.
awfully confusing, right? Oh,
I have
man.
so many layers all the time, and I don't name them, so it's like, what is this? What is layer
Good on ya.
174? I don't remember.
That's funny.
Okay, and then I'm gonna make this blend in a little more. And then I'll probably do some skin retouching too. Blend in here. And then, let's see.
That is looking good.
Yeah. And then we're gonna blend the top in just to like match the highlights and stuff.
Are you gonna, and also it's gonna be kind of breaking that border,
Yeah.
that circle? Yeah, that's a good call.
Because I want it to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3D.
Mm-hmm. I'm into it. I'm really into
3D face.
it. Ooh, even if you had the like, maybe not. I was like,
Oh, the eye?
yeah, I was thinking if your eyelashes were like, even though that's a wing, you could still sell it as like, who knows what.
Let's see. Do that.
It's magenta, cayenne, and yeller. Those are
Yeller.
the colors. Magenta. We're gonna use some magenta.
Oh my god. I love saying things like how they're not supposed to be said.
Do you ever have those cases where you're like, and you've read the word 1,000 times, but you never say it out loud in a conversation, so you're very self-conscious about when you say it?
I'm like, I just like avoid it at all costs.
What I do is I
words.
say it, and then I immediately say, I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever said that word out loud before. And sometimes you don't want to sound pretentious by using a big fancy word, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes I only read words and I'm like, oh, now I'm actually saying it. How do I say it?
Yeah, how do I
Because like
say this
cyan, I
right?
don't usually say that in real. I'm not
exactly,
like
cyan.
this blue. I say blue, not cyan or like turquoise.
Yep.
But let's see. I'm just refining the
It's
edge.
turquoise, by the way.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
turquoise.
Turquoise. Turquoise.
Turquoise. It's French. Turquoise. And then let's see, expand this a bit more.
So color lookup, just Sergio, you just apply those. Color lookups are basically a combination of hue, saturation, contrast curves, like all that stuff that somebody else made. But that's what a color lookup usually just adds an overall nice color tone to your images.
Yeah, and I usually use like a million of them, just like 10% of each one.
Okay.
And then they all build onto like another looking color lookup layer.
Yeah.
One grand one.
I wonder, Tim might know this, because basically you could take all your adjustment layers and turn them into your own lookup table.
Ooh, oh, like make
So you
your
could
own.
do that. And I wonder if you could take your own adjustment layers, including other color lookups, and make your own as well.
Ooh.
So you always have that like one style that might be more yours.
Yeah, because I always
that
use
you
like the
can-
same like 5
might-
or 6 from
I wouldn't
the
be surprised
pack.
if you couldn't. I just haven't done it yet.
I think I've tried. Definitely tried. But like in Lightroom, I've made my own presets. So that's what I
Yeah.
used before
It's
this.
kind
to
of, yeah, that's a good call.
filter it
It's kind of like what you're
out.
doing here. The trick here is you can't, inside of that color lookup are a bunch of adjustment layers that you can't mess with. And it was that way by design, is because you didn't want, the whole idea came from nonlinear editing. So if you wanted to have a movie and you have, 5 different production houses working on it,
Yeah.
you wanted to have the same look. So you say, here's this lookup table that everybody's using. It doesn't matter whether you're using Premiere Pro or whatever.
Yeah.
It has the same look. So that's why it's kind of like locked out. That's where it came from.
And then I'm just gonna fix my skin. We're gonna do spot healing brush tool and then sample all layers. And then make it smooth, so because bubbles, hardness down. Bubbles are smooth. And so a lot of my work is like coloring and then like retouching, just making things look like smooth.
Well, I like how you did this because like you obviously masked it out and painted on it. So you're isolating the area that you really want, and that's just the area that you're color correcting and
Yeah.
editing now and stuff, which is good. So you're not doing the whole thing. You kind of have it isolated first.
Yeah, and I got rid of the other, like the pink layers, so I can actually see what I'm doing. And then, let's see, let's go over here. I love retouching, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's very, Yeah, it's pretty soothing.
Yeah.
It's nice doing that work where
It's
you're
like the
just
same motion over and over, like painting little
Yeah.
strokes.
Yep,
It's fun.
very satisfying.
Satisfying, oddly satisfying things. Retouching.
Into it.
Let's see if I can blend the top more. I'm gonna see how much I can fade up before it hits my eyebrows. See, ooh, too big. Oh, that's my eyebrow. It slowly grows.
And I guess you could, I mean, another way of doing that is like, that looks pretty good. Stamping out, because, yeah.
Oh, clone stamping out.
Like clone stamping out your eyebrow.
True,
and
yeah.
then so you at least have the forehead to kind of blend in more.
That's true. I might actually do that because I want more texture up here. I might clone stamp that out. I used to clone stamp too very, very much.
About less than 40 minutes and we'll review your design challenge submissions for the current challenge. Looks like Sergio's late. He's late, but he's here now. So yeah, if you could just start all over for Sergio.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, let me just start from the beginning. Let's see.
Yeah, and actually,
Oh.
Sneha Gupta, that's actually a good question for Natalia. Like, how long does like one of your like Instagram posts take? It probably varies, but
It's usually minimum like 6 hours.
okay.
And then it goes to like continuously, probably over a day,
Okay.
over 24 hours. Some of them are very complicated, so it depends. Like with portraits, I do like all types of photos. So I do like cutting out like small subjects and like manipulating the background a ton. And then I just do like, this is more like a portrait one. So this one won't take as long. So though like the ones that weren't manipulating a ton, it can take up to like 24 hours or more.
And you're going to school as well, right? You're in
Yes.
college, so like, do you do this on the weekend or?
I have a lot of like brand deals and stuff that I usually do. So I try to do it on the week, like every day. I usually open Photoshop every day
Okay.
and just like do different projects and like on top of like homework. So it's a pretty busy week usually.
Yeah,
to be
sounds like it.
honest. Yeah.
But it is kind of like your job, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's luckily turned into an awesome job for you to,
Yeah,
you
it's
know, that you have the
crazy.
opportunity to,
And I
somebody's
think-
paying you to work in Photoshop.
I
Yeah.
know. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
The world that we live in. I can do what I like and then also get paid. Yeah. But yeah, it's a busy week usually. And then traveling too. So here, let me just fade that out and let's see how that looks. Okay, cool. And then let me just fix my skin a bit more. Oops. And I usually have the flow pretty low, so I can do it based off of like pressure size or pressure if I'm doing like Wacom work.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get rid of that spots. And I'm usually a perfectionist, which is also why I take pretty long to edit. Let me just do that. Yeah. And get rid of all these spots. Cute.
Working on that separate layer. Oh, I love it when you turn on those adjustment layers.
Yeah, it's so.
It makes a big change.
And then actually, to blend it in more, not gonna be clipped to this, but I'm gonna be so more color fill layers. I'm going to release this and I'm gonna shut off all of the adjustment layers, put that in a group. And then I'm going to invert this mask, and then I'm going to paint like the border in between these two so it like blends in more. And then I'm just gonna grab this color. So a lot of like my compositing is also just like painting. Give it a sec. And so to blend things in, I like usually just paint things over if I can't like brush it out or something.
Yeah.
So
The question is, should because there is a lot of it's darker here, and then it gets lighter up there, and that's kind of what you're,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. That's looking good. So you're just painting on a new layer, because that's just like easier than, yeah, that looks good. Plus you
Yeah.
can control the opacity of that and all that.
Yeah,
Good
and the
stuff.
flow is like at 7%, so like I can control it pretty well. And let me see. Paint this and just like smooth things out. And then I'll get rid of that later. And highlights.
That's looking good. Thank you, Tim, for that response about LUTs.
Lights. Amazing.
And that's what I was kind of asking Tim. Thank you so much for checking that out. But you kind of like your workflow, you can combine a bunch of LUTs and a bunch of adjustment layers and make your own LUT from all that stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna smooth things out. So I usually overdo things by a lot and then just erase it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably
Do a little toggling, see what like
Yeah, I always turn things on and off and then like zoom out because I usually post these to Instagram, so I want to see how it looks like when it's small.
Yeah. And that's why you don't have to worry about, you do have to worry about the details, but you didn't have to go so deep into each little hair of your head to make sure it's masked out. You kind of know the size you're going for.
Yeah.
So.
I used to be like super perfectionist about like every single detail, but then I found out like when you zoom out you can't see it, so
Yeah, and then you're like, why am I spending 10 hours
I
on
know.
this? So you got it down to 8 hours.
Exactly. And then
awesome.
I'm doing another curves layer to like match the highlight of my cheek here. Matching the highlight. And doing
Tim, great pun.
What
By
did he
making
say?
LUTs and combining all that stuff into your own, you can save a lot of time. Slow
that's
clap for the corny joke. I love it.
That's good. Okay. I'm gonna.
We do need to show you, by the way, today, between today and tomorrow, we'll use the Select Subject tool.
Oh yes.
And then a couple other things that you might be interested in.
On the iPad. And okay, there's a little fuzz as you can see right there, so I'm just gonna mask that out. This will work. Oh, it's another layer.
And we have Select Subject on the iPad running now. I have just
Ooh,
update
cool.
Photoshop if you haven't. And as of Monday, you now have Photoshop Select Subject on Photoshop on the iPad.
That's so cool. They come out with updates like really quickly, because Photoshop just came out on iPad
Yeah.
like a couple months ago or something.
Yeah, it did a
crazy.
couple months ago, and I think it's like it's funny. It's like Photoshop's like 30 years old. There's 30 years of technology.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, like, give them some time to get all that. Like, iPads are now fast enough to run the actual code base. Just give us some time to implement everything. We're not going to slap everything in there and just like
Crash the
We're really
iPad.
thinking about how it works. And even watching you work here, you worked very smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like not even just slapping those tools in there, rethinking how they work. Because
Yeah.
you don't notice how you don't run into any roadblocks these days. Like if you started like 6 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you've been working in Photoshop a long time, you were always hitting these roadblocks of these dialog boxes that would pop up and you'd select OK or cancel. Now everything's very much instant as you work in the properties panel for the tool that you're working on, which I think is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
There's so many like Liquify like recognizes face now, where you can just increase the size of an eye very easily. And before I had to like press on it until it looks big,
Yeah,
like with the
okay.
dilate tool. So now it's really cool with like all the Adobe Sensei stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully makes everybody's lives easier.
Yeah.
That's our whole goal.
Making the life easier. And then zoom back out. looks cute. And then I'll probably do more shading on the bubble. Oh my god, my strap. And I'm gonna delete this. And then, let's see. I usually jump around too, so after editing this bubble, I might go to like editing or retouching my face. And then going back to like editing the second bubble and then this bubble. So I don't get bored. I just like go all over the place.
Oh, really? And you kind of work on the image like as a whole.
Yeah.
Right?
So
That's a
little
good...
pieces. So I may notice like something on my eye. I'm like, I'm working on the bubble, but I must fix this eye. So it's really just like random things. And I might change the color of my hair actually, even though I like it red. I might change the color. And then I use select color or selective color a lot. And then mask out.
Okay, so you're in, what did you used? Selective color, changed it to reds because you know that color is obviously red.
Yeah.
And
I think we're just change it to pink.
oh yeah, that totally works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it. That's right. That's a good call.
And then I'm gonna Command I to invert, and then mask it out or bring it back. That's too harsh. With a soft flow, I'm going to paint over my hair and make it pink. So when I'm shooting models and like they don't have the right colored clothing, I'm like, it's okay, I can just change it in Photoshop. Or like anything.
Right, you can't be like, hey, you know what? Can you change the color of your hair for this shoot? And it's like, I like how you really committed to the red. I'm digging your red hair, how it is now. Has it been red for a bit or?
It's been red for about 2 months now. I had blue before this actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I had purple before. So we're going through the rainbow. I don't know what's next. Pink, maybe? Pink?
Yeah.
A pastel pink. I'm painting over this.
Oh, and all right. And then when you're at a stopping point, we can do select subject here if you want to.
Get this pink.
Well, that's for you, not me. Really into that color. So this is the thing about that. You're using a secondary color. Like that's kind of a tealish blue. It's not a true blue. And so therefore you didn't want to go with a true red because you're like teal and pink work. It's just a good color combo.
I want this whole vibe to be more like pastel, like soft colors, especially since like the bubblegum. I guess it's more inspired by like what's the objects in the photo for like my composites. So I usually like base it off of like the objects that I bring in, or like the clothing.
Thank you for saying that, because that is so true. You're not picking a color to add color for no reason. You're adding color with purpose.
Yeah.
Anytime you're using color, you're doing it with a purpose, not just to decorate a page or a design. Okay.
I just like base things off of like it's like a puzzle piece almost. Like so like for my edits I do like clothing and then makeup and then like objects and then like the color is also like a puzzle piece. So like that's afterwards. It's just all one big puzzle.
Yeah.
That's all compositing is. But yeah, I can do this.
Oh yeah, you want to try this? So yeah, here you go. Let's switch over to the iPad. In case you're curious, I just pulled up this photo. You're just on that layer.
Okay.
And
then
Mahadi, good to have you here. Yeah, just a long press. Select subject is there. So we're just literally just.
Oh, it did it. Oh.
And then it actually did it so fast.
I didn't know. I was like, I had to press it again.
It did it. You thought it was gonna like take longer or whatever.
Okay, we're done.
But there, like it's literally that easy.
We're done.
And then is that it turned on that middle layer. See how it's turned off?
Oh.
I just threw a background in there just to kind of show. Yeah, I get it. Some things we need refine edge, because that's your next step. Is like, okay, I want to refine this. We get it. Like, that's when you're gonna have to switch to the desktop. But we're keenly aware. In fact, I want to answer some questions here. That was super easy though, huh?
That was too easy.
Yeah, it's
I'm like, Photoshop should be hard. I'm
wasn't
like,
wasn't that supposed to take longer? But let me just go in here as suggest what's new, but also what's coming. Right in here, you can see. smart objects, adjustment curves, color swap, just all sorts of things. Of course, we want to bring in your own fonts, and you can also suggest a feature. But that's why I'm glad we're doing these live streams, because we have to, stuff comes out so fast, we have to do a live stream and say, hey, this is here now. But anyways,
I'm gonna
we could switch back to your screen. It's looking good.
I'm gonna fix the color actually, because I turned on my other adjustment layers, and then I want to fix this now. Let's do more pink, pink.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Just really appreciate you being here.
Oh, you like how I did my eyeliner? Thank you. I've been doing it for 6 years as well. Started the eyeliner when I started photography.
I'm here with Natalia Seth, also known as Escaping Youth on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's just making something new, just for fun, just cause you can.
Just because I can. And
Why
I'm
not?
going to recolor my tie to pink.
Oh, I should probably get out of the way for that. There it is.
And let's see, I'm going to see where pink is. And then Command I to invert. And then paint on here to bring the pink back.
Yeah, to answer your question, Zombie Army. Yeah, you get if you get Photoshop on the desktop, you also get it on the iPad. It doesn't cost anything extra or anything like that.
And then I'm gonna mask out this area.
So Jeff, that's a good question. Jeff asks if there's if we expect a lot of the Adobe apps to, end up on the iPad. I think where it's like applicable, and we're obviously like listening to the market. These are kind of our first. This is really, I think, our first. We have Adobe Fresco, which is really fun. It makes sense to do to have a drawing app on the iPad.
Yeah, I like that there's Lightroom, because I always use that for
Lightroom.
just like mobile photos
Okay.
I take, like iPhone photos,
Very cool.
just to like quickly filter. It's very nice. And then
Anthony, we're going for red today, so hopefully we look like we're red. These are red suits and not orange.
oh, did they say orange?
Well, it could just kind of depend on the.
Oh, true. It
I
could
don't
be
know.
like red orange.
If there was orange on the screen, this would look more red. But since there's
Yeah.
this like more of this, what is it, magenta, magenta color,
Magenta?
magenta,
Magenta?
Anyways,
Okay, let's see. And then I think it's time to bring in another face.
oh yeah.
So this one's slightly smiling because she's about to be born. And then we're gonna bring that below all the adjustment layers.
Just waking up to the world.
Waking up. And then I
What is
have to fix my eyeliner in this one because I think it's smudged.
Oh no.
So we're gonna do some retouching. And then we're gonna flip that horizontally and position it on there.
So Joe says it looks like a Dutch orange. I've never heard of Dutch orange, but if that's a thing,
That's
sure, we'll go with it.
fancy. That's a fancy color. Smiling.
I was curious, and not to throw you off because this looks cool.
Yes.
Like, how often do you sometimes start a concept? Do you always know the finished concept when you take the photo, or do you take some of the photos and then it starts out as one thing and then maybe becomes another?
It usually starts, so I usually sketch out my idea beforehand.
Okay.
So I have like a set idea, and then it usually comes about the same way. And then like with color and stuff, I may like adjust that afterwards. But sometimes I like to just like, since a lot of my process is so structured, I like to just experiment and be like, I'm gonna just take this photo with this pose and then see what happens after. And that's
Okay.
really fun too, because I'm like, oh, this would have never happened if I didn't experiment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of both, but mostly just like structured.
Mostly
like,
you know, and you kind
Yeah.
of dive into it. Okay.
Because like so much of it is preparation with like props and stuff, and if I want to take like stock images of like an apple, so I want to have as much beforehand as possible.
Okay, that is good.
Yeah.
And you're still open to happy little like accidents or ideas that
Yeah.
might come your way. Okay, very into it.
Love happy little accidents. And then I'm gonna just duplicate. That was funny. I'm gonna duplicate those adjustment layers and then clip it to this one, so I don't have to do it again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the work's already done, but let's retouch my eyeliner.
Yeah, I feel like you're a little embarrassed about that.
I
or
know.
something.
I'm like, someone
That's
commented
fine.
that it was fine.
No,
like,
it's just
looks
that
so
you,
good. and then
you did it because you wanted to show how to remove a smudged like eyeliner. That's all.
yes. Yeah.
So thank you for giving us this example.
Exactly.
And you have less than 20 minutes to get your designs in. We'll just do a little creative review of your the current challenges for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge.
Yeah. And I'm just clone stamping this because it's easier. But for skin work, I usually do spot healing brush tool or clone stamp. If the spot healing brush won't do it.
Do you ever or content aware fill it? Do you ever do that?
Yeah, but I usually like being more precise, so I usually like clone stamp it. So I know where I want to like paint it over like that. If I lassoed like this section and then content aware filled it, would it be good?
Yeah, it would totally be fine.
Oh, really? Oh,
But
cool.
I could understand actually, you know what, you should really check out the control you have with content aware fill these days is pretty awesome. Just so you know.
Yeah, sometimes it surprises me. I'm like, ooh, let me just test it out, and then it does exactly what I wanted to do. I'm like, oh,
Right?
perfect. My work is done.
And it'll be exactly what you want, or it
Yeah.
might miss some things. So now you can control the content aware fill might not fill from that general area. You can take from this area and fill this spot with that area. So you can really be really precise with it.
For landscapes, if I didn't take enough like expansion photos to make the photo bigger, then I'll do the content aware fill to make more landscape. If I need more grass or something. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's turn that on and off.
Let me.
We did it.
That's looking good.
And then I'm just gonna fix my skin again. Oh.
I'll have to show you the new content aware fill dialog too.
Yes, show me. After I fix my skin. Oh. Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, let's switch over to my screen really fast. This will take 2 seconds too, by the way.
Yeah.
So Jim, just switch over here.
She has some nice makeup.
Let's just say we want to do something very bizarre. Actually, we could go really bizarre with this because it's like selecting both of her eyes, and not to be too morbid, but I want her eyes to just disappear. Okay, so we'll go to content aware fill. Okay. From here, typically, I did nothing, by the way. What I have this set to, it's automatically sampling areas, okay? But I can control that as well. It actually already did it. Look, that's exactly what I want, and that is freaky. I'm freaking out
That's
already.
cool. I did an edit like that in 2014.
Did you really?
But I used the patch tool because content aware fill wasn't a thing, so I was just patch.
I literally
patch,
touched
patch.
nothing. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
in some cases, what will happen is sometimes her hair. By the way, I'm just adding to it. I'm trying to mess it up.
Oh,
wait,
it
hold
looks
on. Let's
better.
add to this part. Sorry. I'm trying to mess it up.
It's too good. It won't mess up. It's I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You cannot.
I'm adding to the sample area, and you can see right here, that's what it's doing, right there. It's taking some part that shouldn't be there. But basically, you can control what gets added and removed to it. So it's basically custom is what you're doing. And I'm custom painting. Say, you know what, take from just this forehead and fill in those eyes, okay? So it got too much of the gray, so I could kind of remove up there and just kind of take that piece.
Yeah.
But you get the idea, and that's the short of it. But I can already see auto worked quite well. And now we're done with the freaky girl. Let's change back. I'm disturbed now. Let's go back to yours.
Let's
and
go back
work
to the bubble gum.
Let's go work on some faces and some bubbles. Because this is actually more happy, definitely. And so we're still messing with faces, but.
And then let's softly brush this. Maybe we want this face to be a bit bigger. So selecting all that and then increasing the size. Yeah. Maybe rotating it a bit.
Oh yeah, and thank you, Natalie. Thank you for pointing that out. So content and where to fill. I think Voodoo Val might have talked about that in the daily creative challenge today. So we might see some of those examples.
Yeah.
Just being born, little baby bubble,
A little baby bubble.
little baby Natalia, oh, waking up. Hello world.
Hello world. I love doing really freaky self-portraits. They're like fun because like once like in 2013 I did a self-portrait of a hand going through my face.
Oh,
like this.
freaky. Oh.
And then it's one of my most popular photos too because people
sounds
were like
freaky.
and
right?
then all I did was I took a photo of like me like and then my fist and then somehow it looked really good, like the shadows and everything were perfect.
Wow.
And so it worked. All I needed was 2 photos. My
That's
fist
awesome.
and my face.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to take long, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes works out.
That's it, like just like shadows. The shadow work on that was like all that was needed.
Very cool. So Gary doesn't have a refine edge yet, so but just it is in the works. Technically, I've seen an internal build that has refine edge.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it is coming because that isn't the next step. But we could have held back select subject and then waited till you had a complete workflow for selecting hair. But we'd rather what we make, we're gonna give to you like right away. We don't want to keep things from you. That's not right.
In the dark. Okay, positioning her so it's like that.
All right. Yeah.
And then, okay, we're gonna mask out this dark area.
Thank you, Afroja. Good to have you here as well.
Oh, that's a close stamp too. Masking out this area.
Oh, I'll move my head. There we go. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh. She's gonna eat you.
She's gonna eat my head like it's a piece of bubble gum or it's like it's a jelly bean.
It's a jelly bean.
So thanks, Steve. We at Adobe Max we feature Sneaks, which is new technology, and yeah, it's working at Adobe's awesome, but also we release these features like so fast. I don't get to hold them. I don't get to tease you with them for like a year or so. You know what I'm saying? Like when we used to have major releases, I could tease you on a feature about a feature for a while, and only I had it. But now it's like as soon as we make it, we give it to you.
Like last year, I remember all the Sneak stuff, and I was like so excited for so many of them. And then I was like, I want it now.
Yeah.
Give it to us. Okay.
Sergio, good to have you here, my friend.
I kind of like how the cheek is popping out.
I like how the cheek is. I like that it's not. I like that it's not a perfect circle. Kind of that it is busting out a little bit. I'm kind of into that.
So that like 3D effect, and let's make this edge a little bit harsher.
Because that's another thing about bubbles. When you produce them, sure they might be perfectly round, and I think maybe when they float, it's okay if there's like they're not perfect.
Yeah. I can't even blow a bubble, so.
You're like, I have no reference for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get you to practicing to blow bubbles.
I know.
How can we do it? We gotta do that.
My profile picture is fake because I edited the bubble.
Hey, it's fantasy.
Yeah.
The big fantasy here is you blowing the bubble, not faces appearing in the bubble. It's you blowing a bubble.
Imagine
Got it.
every time you blow a bubble, like a little face appears. You're like, no.
That would be weird. I wouldn't want to blow a bubble, like, just kind of looking down. I don't know. That's weird. Maybe
It's like a little of you.
Maybe that'll be a thing. Why isn't that a thing?
Blowing bubbles and then like.
No, like, what if there was gum, and then when you blew the bubble, it like became it looked like the moon or the earth or something like that. Like that would be a cool.
That's a cool.
Let's get those sugar
idea.
companies on it.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know
You
how
have to be
it'd
able
work.
to blow a bubble first.
Yeah. Can you whistle?
I can't whistle either. Can you?
Yep. It's just very. That's just air coming out of your mouth.
I know.
You sound like a balloon that's deflating slowly. No, I'm just joking.
It's like
I'm just
a
messing
sad
with
balloon. Okay, so I'm adjusting more curves and levels, layers to make it fit.
And you started with, you copied some of the original adjustment layers, and now you're kind of adding to it, kind of tweak it and get it right.
Yeah, because like these worked perfectly, but then this doesn't look as good with this bubble. So I have to adjust it now and make more adjustment layers for that. So I'll probably need to adjust this hue too. And maybe a little more saturation. And let's see. She needs to be more pink. She needs to be
Yeah.
pink. Oh, pink. Where's pink? And then she needs to be lighter.
Yeah. It looks like you work on color and then brightness kind of in unison as well.
Yeah,
Is that
that's a
kinda-
good observation.
Yeah. So, or we have like Tim said, we have a dubstep concert going on next door. Don't mind us.
The party's downstairs. Oh.
Yeah, in less than 10 minutes before we review fun designs as part of today's daily creative
Do
challenge.
they win stickers?
Oh, they win the opportunity. No, we just do it to review review work. That's the big thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, let's get them to review.
Because usually I ask my mom to review my stuff. Because
Okay.
like usually I don't have anyone.
Uh-huh.
And then the only person's like my mom. I'm like, Mom, does the lighting look good? She's like, no, fix the shadow. I'm
okay.
like, okay, true.
And
So-
you said that she's like a fine artist, or
Yeah,
what's-
she does
okay.
realistic art too. So like floating heads is very much her thing too. Like,
Oh wow!
Like floating stuff or like animals.
Oh wow!
Like
That's
weird
cool.
realistic things as well. So, and she pays attention a lot to like lighting because like painting, you have to like know where the light
Oh,
is for the
totally.
subject, and
Yeah.
so it helps a lot. And when I don't have her at like college, I like send her a text. I'm like, does this look good? I like take a picture of the monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always need like another eye before I post it because sometimes I like look at it for too long.
Yeah.
And then it just
100
looks right. I'm like,
100%. For sure. You need to step away, come back. Some people will flip it horizontally.
That's what
Sometimes
I
flipping
do.
it will sometimes work. Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
For lighting especially, that's really good. Or like symmetry.
And I would say, even if you don't have a mom who's an awesome artist as well, some people just have really good eyes. They can typically say, hey, that maybe doesn't look good or looks good. I don't know what it is, but just having a sounding board, whether they're art trained or not,
Yeah.
is huge.
It's very correct.
You know, because I know people like that. It's like, you have a really good eye. I know you're not in the design business, but you should be.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Ooh, I think maybe with this bubble, I might fill in the bottom part like darker
yes, totally.
to match it. I didn't do that with other bubble.
It's almost
The name of this is funny.
girl with
Dreadlocks and
headband. So Sergio asks if you're doing your own lighting for your indoor shots.
Yeah, so my lighting is very simple. I only have 2 soft boxes that I bought in middle school. They were very cheap, and I've used the same ones ever since. So I only have 2, and that's all I use. Or I use natural lighting, but usually for indoor shots, like studio shots, I use my softbox. Very simple setup.
Intuit doesn't have to cost a lot of money to get the results that you want. And again, if you have access to natural light, that's also like a good way to go.
Yeah,
So good
very,
call.
very simple. And then like for outdoor shots, I never do artificial lighting. I usually just do I usually shoot in cloudy weather because it has a very soft lighting. I don't have to pay attention to shadows.
So true.
And then sunlight's nice, but not for editing.
And it's just too harsh.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's too harsh.
It's too harsh. Okay, so I'm trying to darken this with a color fill layer. And then just painting on the bottom for that. Let's bring this up. I might switch it to multiply actually. Multiply. It's too dark, so I'm gonna decrease the opacity. Yeah. I'm gonna shade that. So
Is it a strobe light or continuous softbox? Probably just a soft.
just a continuous, just the one that stays on, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've practiced with what's the other one? Strobe ones. Very cool. Very cool. But it's more fancy.
What if could you sample that? Is that what you did? Did you sample the color of the face?
No, I just made a multiply layer of color fill.
Into it. I mean, it's looking great.
And I'll probably paint over all of it again, around the edges.
Okay. Into it. We
And
only have
color
about
fill.
3 minutes before we dive into these.
3 minutes. Color fill is really nice for shadows too, because then you can adjust the hue of the shadow. So if my red shirt is really near this, then the shadow will be more tinted red instead of just a pure black.
Yes.
So
typically you want to stay away from black. Rarely are shadows actually pure black.
yeah,
So good call.
everything has a little tint to it. And then I'm gonna paint again over here.
Tim, I get your reference. I get it.
Okay. Paint over here. Paint more over here. And then maybe actually like that. Oh, it looks like I have a beard. And then paint like that, maybe. I think the shadow has to be more over here because of my Siri!
Why is Siri jumping in? I don't know
Siri
what that
has
is.
entered this chat 3
Too
times.
many times.
She needs to leave the chat. And I'm gonna paint more and then erase around the edges.
Yes, this is good. Like I mentioned dimension earlier, you could actually take a photo of yourself and slap it on a sphere. But
Really?
yeah, you can. But
Is it easier than this?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no. I think you would get. I think the distortion it wouldn't be realistic.
Oh.
Because you don't want to make it look like a flat photo is on a 3D sphere.
Yeah.
You want it to look like these features are actually coming out of the 3D sphere. So the
Yeah.
shadows and it just wouldn't look right. But you can do that. I mean, it's worth us maybe a study to try it out. But
I
yeah,
tried
this is the way to go.
Adobe Dimension once, and it was very cool. Because I don't really work with 3D objects, but I know some photographers, they don't take pictures of the balloons. Say, for instance, in real life, they 3D object all the balloons, and it looks dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does. I think it works awesome for some things.
Would it take longer?
No,
would it
I mean
take
it would
longer
be
to edit?
fast, but the thing is, we would need a photo of your face straight on,
Oh.
and then we would try to wrap it. So we would just need one of those. We can maybe, we could always try that tomorrow. Just as a fun thing, if you give me a photo, we'll slap it on this 3D sphere to see what it looks like.
Well, the blending there kind of looks good.
That's looking good, yeah. I really like the shadows that you added. Kind of like that shadow underneath looks really good.
I think.
And by the way, Jesse and Afroja and everyone, you started from just one image, and look at how many layers you've built up.
Yes.
Over the past hour and a half.
Yeah.
With me interrupting you. I'm sorry. I gotta interrupt you again here in a second because the countdown is down to 0.
Wait, what if I just clip it to the... Oh, never mind. No, I cannot do that.
So, Nakoma, yeah. So Photoshop does allow for bump maps. You should find that in the 3D menu, but it all depends on your input, so your photo, if it has that depth. But yeah, you could try it. I haven't had great success with it because it's, but yeah, there's some potential cool demos out there. So bump map would mean it's like you have a face and you're using black and white to determine what's going to be extruding and what's going to be recessed.
Whoa.
So black's going to recess, and you'd use that separate bump map on that full color photo to add that depth.
Dang, that's cool. Yeah.
It is cool.
I'm gonna play more with 3D. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is pretty fun, and we have some fun things coming with Dimension that I'm super excited about.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think 2020 is going to be the year of Dimension. And Photoshop, as we start to add so many more features, Photoshop on the iPad is going to be huge. And then also Illustrator is going to be kind of fun coming to the iPad.
It's going to come to the iPad?
Yeah, we mentioned that at Max. Kind of showed it off. Super cool.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Good times. All right.
And I'm basically almost done with that.
You could still work on that, and I'll kind of click over and
cool.
kind of dive into some of the design feedback. So this is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. We have our Creative Challenge right here, and here I am in Discord, by the way. So that's where I'm reviewing all of this stuff, again, as part of the Daily Creative Challenges that we have that I can go to. But nonetheless, Creative Challenge is all about, we can review these too. I don't think all of these have been covered, but challenge number 2 was a 90s style yearbook photo, which is gonna be super fun.
Those were funny.
Using masks and adjustment layers. And then the challenge 3 that just came out today is about using content-aware fill to create a wacky family photo. So that's what we'll be reviewing. We'll click into current challenge. I don't know how far to go back, but we definitely need to scroll back to some of these fun ones as well. And by the way, if you see some other ones in here, that was from day 1, which is all about creating a custom emoji for Discord.
Whoa!
Yeah,
in
so
Photoshop?
Yeah, in Photoshop. So we'll see an assortment of these. There's so many to review actually now that I look at them. Okay, yeah, these are super fun. Wow. Fantastic. We'll see some updates to these. Wow. So here's the custom emoji. We see some of those for Discord right in here. We have that face. We can kind of image like this, so very like Lisa Frank with the colors, but this is the 90s style portrait that we're kind of going for. And by the way, each person, or for each challenge, they were given like a starter file. So this was the 80s, 90s style portrait, and this is the wacky family photo. So you do have something to start with. Ken Crowley, this is super fun. That's Robert Downey Jr. That's cool. Kind of doing, him back in the day, and then him as
cool.
Iron Man. Way cool. Nailed it. I don't know if that's nailed it, because that's what I'm seeing.
It is. That's smart.
That is funny. The 90s, 80s, 90s style portrait. I like the idea of using a dog, so well done.
The paw prints is cool.
Snow, yes, very cool. Kind of based on that file. Again, using
Was there a dog
pet.
included? also?
No, this is their own. So they definitely
cool.
swapped this in. They probably used, again, kind of following along with the challenge, turned on some layers and ended up with that. But Willie, I love it. Design and art, this is fun too. I like the use of that font. That's very 80s, kind of like 80s view of the future, which is cool. Christian Bale, Ken Crowley again, very cool. Portraits, him as a kid and then older. This is also Day Tool, that 80s, 90s style. Super cool. Like this edge, that's very smart to kind of have that edge of color, to kind of tie that so that photo doesn't look like it's pasted in, actually resembles the shadows that we have here for these objects. So Carla, good job. I'm gonna move through these. Natalie's as well, that's super fun. I like the colors. The colors work well. Yeah, those are both really cool. I actually kind of prefer the one on the right. Yes, yes, yes. All right, some more advice given. Hilda had some fun as well.
I love floating heads.
Sultana as well. Icon for
Oh, cool.
for that's pretty wild. Some more people just giving advice for some of these. So we've gone over a lot of these. Reuven as well, him with his cats. I'd probably amp up the color too, have some fun with the color since you have, if you're gonna have bright colors in there, you, just like you've been doing, you've been matching anything that you add to the photos, you're matching the colors.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what needs to happen here. It can be kind of tough because you're dealing with these natural taupe sort of browns, tans, that then you have this. And if you can, the closer you can tie those together, the better off you are. But again, good job for what? It's only being like day 3. This one's scaring me a little bit, but I appreciate your effort, Jesse. Of course, we have Baby Yoda. The doggie's always gonna be fun. Stephanie Lynn, the cat. Good job masking this out. Like that could be pretty tough. Like pretty
it's fuzzy.
I mean, you can still tighten it up, but that's like this is one of the hardest masking jobs you can do. You know.
Hair is terrible. Like,
yeah.
It's like, but then like Refined Edge does a pretty good job.
It does. I mean, it's like, what did we do before Refine Edge?
Yeah.
We're like, well, I guess that's what you're getting. I don't know. This wouldn't be so helpful.
In between each hair.
Here we have Spinnig as well. I would actually take these and tint them that blue. If you could tint them that blue, I think that would look really good. If you could make it look like there's some pink being cast, and then so the highlights are in pink and the shadows are in blues. Tim knows what I'm talking about because I would use a gradient map on this. But again, it's only day 3. Oh, this is fun. Look at the doggies in space.
In a bubble.
In bubbles.
That's so cute.
You know all too well.
I love
doggies
the
in bubbles.
Little poppers.
This is my favorite one that I've seen.
That's so
for the
cute.
little emoji. Just happy.
I love that.
Into it. Some cards.
The Smurf. Whoa. It looks 3D.
Yeah, a little painting there. Yeah, just gonna clean it up. Yeah, he's doing well.
Wow.
Probably using the bevel and emboss on it.
True. Little is that
emoji, just
Yoda?
kind of combining. I think it's Yoda has an emoji in space with Voodoo Val's face. That's too much. Sean again. There's some wings.
Oh, those are large wings.
Yeah. She could probably fly away with those. That's why I'm giving her a thumbs up. That's when I'm freaking out a little bit. Totally matches the mood. The color is good here. You have that like complementary color, the purple and the yellow, and just kind of keeping with those cool colors with the warm. Some more freaky ones. I don't know, did I scroll too far back? I have so many to cover. Have you been watching The Mandalorian at all, or no?
No, but I know Baby Yoda. I've seen all the pictures of Baby Yoda.
Right? Do you like Baby Yoda? Just like really
So
into it?
cute.
Yeah.
I like little baby anything.
Yeah. It's very cool too. Good job masking, and that was the whole job, to mask it out. I like the painting of the black. It looks good. Stephanie Lynn. It's fun as well. Datu. Did a fantastic job. That's fun background. And this is what Voodoo Val did today. She said, make a fun family portrait. And this is what Voodoo Val kind of made.
Oh, that's
Starting with
funny.
that. It's like, hey.
I replaced my head once with a chick, like a little baby chick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with an egg. Like the chick was popping out of the egg and my head was the egg.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, that was for Easter. Oh, the dogs.
Shahid. Oh, man, we're getting freaky now. Hello. We're getting freaky.
It's like a mask.
Oh, man. Jackie, great job. Let's just go ahead and reviewed. Key thing here is just kind of like, and we're not there yet because it's only day 3, but the idea of matching the blacks. Sometimes there's no black back there. All you have to do. Actually, how would you do this, Natalia? Like, you want to match those blacks? Like, how would you?
Those blacks in the back are pretty faded, so I'd probably use curves and like
punch them up. Would you punch up the background colors? What if you wanted this black to be that dark blue, bluish gray?
Dark blue. I would still use curves because then you can adjust the curves of the blue to like RGB. You can adjust any of the red or blue or green.
Oh, okay. So curves change to blue.
Yeah, and then just like bump up the shadows on the curves.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is heading in the right direction, like totally. Like this shows a lot of promise.
Good.
And the big thing is to think about the structure of the actual body. Like where's the spine? How does the head go? I like how it's actually tilting this direction and not the other direction. Yeah. That would almost be too easy if it's tilting the other direction, but I like how he's looking this way. So this one shows some promise, and I'm looking to or try, Nikoma says replace color. So yeah, there's a replace. Selective color. Okay, yeah, you could do selective color, kind of the same. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Oh, Tim, is this yours? Wait, hold on. No, this is Jackie's. Okay. There we go. Tim was saying the same thing in terms of fine-tuning the background. So this already looks better.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And I would probably punch up those blacks even more in the background. So that's like well on its way. It's a good call, Tim. Boop, boop. He used curves. There we are. Boop. Does that look familiar? There we
blues. There you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Huh, I already did it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tim. Happy face. Jackie, you're getting there. It's all about playing with this stuff. Look at this. I'm freaking out.
Oh, the neck is so long. That's funny.
It's kind of freaking me out. It's kind of like the dog does not want to marry the cat. Just marry the cat. You know that cat's going to make you happy. With that look.
I like how the hands are human.
I know. It's so
part
funny.
Part cat, part human.
Love it. Hilda did a great job. Oh, wow. We're down to our last one. Hopefully I didn't go through these too fast, but I think people are still working on these. We have Admiral Entropy. Quick attempt. Quick attempts to head in the right direction. I see what you're doing. You're trying to paint some shadow, I feel like, on the face here. Maybe, maybe not. Because you're thinking, okay, there's shadow here, when you kind of don't need to do that. Because the shape of the face is different. I would actually still have light here. It just seems like a dark hole here, and it's dark right here. I would punch that up in both spots.
Yeah, maybe like on the snout, maybe a little lighter. 'Cause
Yeah.
the light's still hitting that.
Yeah, so kind of you probably painted in too many shadows that you didn't need, but I love where your head's at. Get it? Whatever. That was dumb. You're so
Slow
nice
clap.
to laugh at my jokes. You're too kind. There we go. Boop. There you go. Another little emoji of a kitty. Fantastic.
Oh, that's cute. I like the splatter on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Good use of color,
Yeah.
too. Like, I like this type. You like the more you look at it, the more you realize these little details.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Oh,
dot
that's cool.
pattern.
The texture of the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like cross-hatched. That's cool.
Yeah.
And the ears, are they flowers? The little like
Oh yeah. I don't know.
their texture too. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, that added some noise in
Is this in
some
fresco?
way. It actually could be. I mean, this looks very much like fresco, but
Yeah.
the goal was to use Photoshop, so I think it's probably a Photoshop
Oh.
brush.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't explored too much in the brushes because I don't really need to use them
Yeah.
too much.
And that's the thing. Like you use Photoshop. Somebody else next to you could be using Photoshop as well, and you're both using
Yeah, different.
just different tools.
That's why I like watching people, and that's how I learn like tutorials. I just like watching people do their thing because I learn like different brushes they can use or like different actions used in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even use a Wacom, so I think when you use a
Oh.
Wacom, you tend to use kind of like more brushes because you're
Yes.
kind of limited with brushes if you're just using a mouse.
Yeah.
So
I use
Anyway.
You say Wacom? Is it Wacom? I say
it's a Wacom. Wacom is correct, actually.
Oh, okay.
Wacom
okay.
is technically correct, but for some reason in the U.S. we say
Yeller.
Wacom. And I'm glad we don't have somebody like, actually, it's Wacom, sir. It is, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I get it. And now I'm going to call it Yeller and Cayenne the next 2 days.
Magenta.
I like what he's doing here is including the original, as
Yeah,
well.
like how it's like half mouth. It looks like a mask. It's really cool.
It really does. But even the fact of just like including this is the source photo to kind of show what. But it is very freaky.
Wait, is the top of the ear human?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
might be.
Is it
I feel like that's
dog?
why. I think you're a good eye. That's like probably a dog's ear.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like turning into a half human, half dog. And they like morphed it so it's like facing that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That is cool and a
That's
little. It's
funny.
probably gonna keep me up tonight. I'm just saying.
You wake up in the middle of the night, you just see that.
Like, it's gonna emerge in my dreams /
dreams.
nightmares. We could switch back to your screen. Everybody, great job on your
Yeah.
current challenge submissions. We will be
You did
reviewing those
amazing.
also tomorrow as well. Very Island of Dr. Moreau. Thank you, Steve. Good call. Steve, were you at Max and I did not shake your hand? Come on now. Would have been nice.
Okay, so what I've been doing, I've just been painting. So this is what I've done.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Okay. So turn it. So you added, go do the before.
I'll do it before.
Oh, sorry.
after. So I've been
Okay,
painting.
good.
So
Yeah,
like
that looks good.
to fix all of the shadows and make
Mm-hmm.
it blend in
I know.
more.
I like, yeah.
And I'm trying to extend the bridge of the nose by painting it a bit more. which I'm
I
still
like where you
working
did
on.
that.
Yeah. So usually things take me a while because I like trying to make it blend in as much as possible, and then a lot of that is painting. So let's see. That's cool. And then let me get rid of that white spot like near there. Over here.
I feel like that's looking good. So this is a case when you said earlier you're like you'll kind of bounce around a little bit because
Yeah.
you've done a little bit more work on this middle bubble.
Yeah.
And then you'd probably go to the first one and add some of those things that are working or whatever, right? Is that
Yeah.
kind of?
Yeah, so especially since this is a duplicate, so like I feel like since this face, like the larger one is bigger, that I don't have to worry as much as about the chin because the mouth is protruding.
Mm-hmm.
So like this one is a bit of a different process.
Mm-hmm. But even just the fact that you've spent more time on that middle one, I'm just like really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself like, when do you stop? I guess like, do you ever find that do you ever overwork an image or overwork something? Do you have that problem or no?
Sometimes, like I usually know when to stop because I usually export one version. Like say I'm like, okay, I'm done, and I export to my phone. I'm like, ooh, this can be fixed, and then I go back.
I do that too. Yep. Yeah. It's funny. Just you think you're done, and then you have to go through that process like 5 times.
Yeah, no, I do
So
like
many
final.
Let me show you something
final.
real fast though too. By the way, right up here in the upper right, you click that little up arrow button. You can airdrop.
What?
So hopefully you could actually airdrop this to your phone directly from Photoshop. So since you're doing that so much, this might save you some time.
Wait, is this like the PSD or just the image?
It's just the image.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
So let's send it to Julian's MacBook Pro.
You're blowing.
I don't know Julian, by the way. Julian, you're getting a fun image. Okay, that's mean. Sent. Is that okay?
Yeah. Wait.
Sorry,
that's
Julian.
So cool.
Yeah, that's pretty easy, huh?
What?
Yeah.
That makes me, because I've had to like save it as a JPEG so many times.
Yeah, just do airdrop directly from Photoshop.
Man, this is cool. Okay, that's gonna save my life. So I'm just gonna paint more.
Sorry,
highlights.
Julian, wherever you are, some Adobe employee that was walking by just got an image.
I just
Is that
got
okay? Don't do that, people. That's mean.
airdrop funny photos. At my college, like if you have your airdrop on, you'll just get like funny memes.
You will, won't you?
Yeah. Especially during exam week, they were just like, haha, here's a funny meme about failing your exams.
Oh, Julian Crespo. Oh, Julian, for the host for it's probably here this afternoon. Probably in the other room. So he's probably going to be with Mustafa.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I try to make this area lighter.
Yes.
For like the highlight of my cheeks.
Love it. And it sells that sphere-ness of it more too.
And then I feel like I want to make this section darker just because it's like farther away. It's like a bit too light for me. Mm-hmm. So I might use curves instead of painting. So let's just bring that down, invert, and then paint.
I have to ask, do you draw as well? Like, can you draw? Are you like illustrate?
Yes.
Do any of that?
I can. I don't do. Oh, hello. I don't do it very often, but I can.
And I can just tell you have an eye for obviously things that whether they look right or not, you know. And I think that might be the case for a lot of photographers. Like, you know, either they can draw or they definitely like have the ability to see, especially if you're doing any sort of photo manipulation.
Yes, because like lighting and shadow is such a big part of it. So like, so is with illustration and like this, I'm painting on the shadows and like
you are illustrating basically.
Yeah,
you're literally illustrating.
It's like half illustrating, half photo manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually the curves worked out pretty well for that shadow for my eye. That's really cool.
Sam Anderson, thanks for jumping in and saying hello. Good to see you here, because Sam is up next doing an XD Daily Creative Challenge. Sam's a good guy. I've never met him in person, but he's a good guy. And that's actually coming up in about 2 minutes. Ooh. If I'm not mistaken, roughly. Yeah. Oh, about 5 minutes. Oh, good. We have 5 minutes. Ew. 4. Oh, he's coming. Okay, gotcha. He's coming up in about technically 7 minutes. Technically 6 minutes, 45 seconds. We're done in 1 minute and 15 seconds or so. I don't know what.
Okay, what should I do for the last 7 minutes? Should I bring in the other?
Oh, you don't even have 7 minutes. I'm sorry. That's just when he comes up. But we have a transition time for him, so we have about a minute and a half or so. I don't know if there's. This is looking fantastic. I don't want you to like. I'm also like, don't break it. It looks really good.
Don't break.
But as for tomorrow, I don't know if you can kind of briefly Do we get to continue this?
I think we do.
I hope so, because I want
Yeah.
to kind of see. Feel free if you want to do more work like between now and then, you can. Less or more doesn't matter, but it's nice to see you kind of do a continuation of this.
Yeah.
We'll do some. We can talk more about Photoshop on the iPad as well, as far as what you'd use it for. Some things are super easy here, especially when it gets to selecting. I think it's easy to start a composite going and then work on a lot of the details on the desktop, in my opinion. But anyways, Natalia, since it was your first time, did you have fun?
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And this is my first time editing this image, so
Yeah.
this was a whole experiment too.
You were like, I don't know how this is gonna come out, but should
And
be.
it's fun to play around with the colors here, because people are always asking, like, how do you color your stuff? I'm like, well, this is how.
Yeah, this is really helpful. Just seeing you work, seeing all your unnamed layers, which I appreciate.
All my
Some people are
messy
always like,
work
"Oh,
stuff.
you like, you name your layers." No, it's just me.
Yeah.
I know, it's fine.
That would double my time, because I already take so long, so it's like...
You've added so many layers within an hour and a half. or
Yeah.
so good job. Experimenting is fun, Jesse. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, everyone. Sam is up next. He's a great guy. XD, Daily Creative Challenge. And this afternoon with more Mustafa with XD and all that good stuff. But you're back tomorrow. I'm so happy.
Yes.
Yay. Join us back tomorrow. Follow her on Instagram.
Escaping Youth.
Escaping Youth.
Yay. Thank
See you all
guys.
very soon.